Barcelona is back in the elite of global top football. Yes, we can say that with full confidence. Xavi and his team have made a brilliant start to the new season, making everyone talk about them with respect. Today we are talking about the new Barcelona, which is gaining momentum and which already really claims to win the Champions League. Finally! So Barca fans, let's collect at least 5,000 likes under this video and then the Catalans will definitely win the UCL. Write Vamos Barcelona in the comments and we'll start. Let's go! Everyone knows the story of Xavi's return to Barcelona. When we talk about the revolution that the new coach has brought to Barcelona, there is only one fact that will speak the loudest about the enormous amount of work. Xavi took over Barca in November 2021, and since then, only 8 players have remained in the team: Ter Stegen, Peña, Araujo, Balde, Roberto, Pedri, Xavi, Frankie plus Ferran Torres, who was one of the first acquisitions of the new coach. Just imagine the scale of the rebuild. Let's not forget of course about Ansu, Eric Garcia, Dest and Lenglet, who were playing on loan at other clubs this season, but in fact, they are not members of Xavi's new team, which aims to win all the trophies this season. And it seems that right now, in his 3rd season in charge of Barca, one of the best coaches in the world has got the team he wanted. The summer transfer campaign was unusual. How about this fact? Among all the current Champions League teams, Barca spent the least on transfers, 3.4 million euros. And all this money was spent on a 31-year-old defensive midfielder from Girona, Oriol Romeu, which is even more shocking in our opinion. Other newcomers, Ilkay Gundogan, Inigo Martinez, Joao Cancelo and Joao Felix, were brought to the Blaugrana for free, unreal business. Ilkay and Inigo as free agents, the 2 Joaos on loan from Man City and Atletico with only salaries paid to the players. Xavi keeps praising the transfers. Here's what he says about the newcomers. Gundogan and Cancelo come from a coach who we already know how well he plays football, which is Guardiola. It's a pleasure to see them play. You don't have to say anything about Gundogan. He knows how to do everything, and Cancelo does the same. I told Joao Felix to enjoy himself and play simply. I told him, simplify your game and you will score a lot of goals. He has great talent and will help us a lot this season. Oriol Romeu has a great understanding of our game. This is a fantastic transfer for us. It's already obvious that these transfers have significantly strengthened the team, but more on that later. Paying tribute to Barcelona's management, we shouldn't forget about last year's crazy transfer campaign with all the financial levers that, among other things, allowed the club to manage this summer so pragmatically. That's how Laporta and his team were able to assemble a competitive team for their coach, which is finally ready to compete in the Champions League. We have not won the Champions League since 2015. We have to take a step forward, and it's time to compete. This is how Xavi sets the task for his team for this season, realizing that he has all the necessary tools. I'm very happy with the result and the quality of the team's performance. I think that the matches against Betis and Antwerp are some of the best matches Barcelona have played since I became the head coach of this team, Xavi said after the opening match of the Champions League group stage, in which his team left no chance for the small Belgian side, 5-0. And indeed, this Xavi's Barcelona can be called the most complete of all that we have seen so far. Xavi is building his dream team and has already had impressive results, while Barcelona fans are once again tweeting like this. Barcelona have made me feel things for the 2nd game in a row. It's a strange and yet familiar feeling, one that has been lost for a while. More of this, please. We seem to be feeling the spirit of Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, don't we? Xavi seems to have invented nothing new compared to last season. The same 4-3-3 in defense when wingers actively work in defense, and 3-2-3-2 in transition to attack, where the false left winger actively helps Lewandowski in attack. Why is there such a striking difference? The fact is that now Xavi really has the right players who can perfectly execute the coach's plan. Gundogan has strengthened Barca in possession. Ilkay almost never loses the ball and has even provided 3 assists in 6 games. Oriol Romeu sealed the center of the midfield. In the matches he played, he was very reliable indeed. But the most impressive were the performances of the 2 Joaos, Cancelo and Felix. These guys changed Barcelona's game the most, along with Gundogan. Just look at the stats. Defender Cancelo already has 1 goal in 3 games, and Felix has 3 goals plus 1 assist in 3 games. It's impressive. Barcelona's game is now a well-oiled machine, as if everyone is in their place. And the Catalans rightly receive favorable reviews from bloggers and experts. Man, if there is anyone Felix's arrival has helped the most, it's Xavi. He looks like a completely different player back in the midfield. None of that inverted winger nonsense, just pure football artistry. Or, for example, this is how Cancelo is being described. Cancelo's understanding of space and time in the final third can only be rivaled by Gundogan and Pedri. He's a joke of a right-back. Elevates our attacking threat tenfold, and it looked like he's been part of this setup for ages. A cheat code against low blocks. And here's what Robert Lewandowski says about Joao Felix. Joao Felix thinks like an offensive player. He plays forward and creates spaces with or without the ball. He's always looking to get forward, so I have to be ready. Great players understand each other. Rafinha, Ferran, Joao Felix. They understand each other with Lewandowski. And these are Xavi's words, which very accurately describe the situation at Barca today. Great players understand each other. The current Barca structure is best described by this screenshot. Look at the positioning of the nominal right-back Cancelo, and now look at where Felix is, and now look what it leads to. The game of this Barca is very interesting to analyze, and it reminds us of something. This Barcelona is a bit like last year's Manchester City, which won the most prestigious club trophy. No, we are not exaggerating. There are certain parallels, and we will give you some interesting examples. Barca and Man City have fantastic goalkeepers who are in top form, Ter Stegen and Ederson. The Catalans have one of the strongest defensive lines in the world, the basis of which was set last season. And now the unit has only become stronger due to the transfer of Cancelo and Inigo. Barcelona's midfield was one of the strongest in terms of its potential even before the transfer of Gundogan and Romeu. Although Busquets left the team, the real monsters stayed: Frankie, Xavi and Pedri. And in the attack, there is the same super forward Robert Lewandowski, who has shown incredible fitness in the new season. He is backed up by very ambitious skilled players like Joao Felix, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal and Ferran Torres. Barca's management plans to add a real diamond to this impressive roster. One of the best strikers of the new generation, 18-year-old Vitor Roque, whose transfer will be registered in January. Barcelona and Manchester City are very similar clubs by nature. They are both led by mega brains like Pep Guardiola and Xavi, who have rebuilt their teams into a revolutionary 3-2-3-2 formation. In general, the coaches stick to the same basic principles: possession of the ball and dominance over the opponent, instant pressure when the ball is lost, search for isolations when the strongest players get space, and one-on-one situations to finish attacks effectively. Xavi's Barcelona is the new Manchester City, and this may be the case when the student surprises the teacher. At least, Gundogan is impressed with the work of his new coach. This season, we are playing good football. I'm impressed with Xavi's work. We think that this is more than a good assessment of coaching skills. Barca with Xavi is ready to compete for the Champions League this season, and that's a real fact. Put a like if you want Barcelona to win the Champions League and are sure that this time Xavi and his team will have an unforgettable season on the European stage. Our channel is certain that Barca will surprise everyone this season, and if they don't win the UCL, they will definitely go far enough in the tournament grid, for instance, to the semifinals. What do you think? Write your thoughts in the comments. It was Inside Football. We watch football from a different angle. Watch these suggested videos and stay tuned. Have a nice one, and see you in a bit.